Tonight, 6 teenagers in Fairfax County are fighting to survive after a violent wreck in Falls Church just before 5 a.m. Police say a 7th teen who was driving the SUV they were all in at the time was arrested for driving under the influence. Our Matthew Torres has been talking to police and witnesses all day. And Matthew, you've learned a bit more since we saw you at 4 o'clock about the teenager who was driving. What have you learned?
So that's right. I checked in with Fairfax County Police not too long ago, and they say they're still working to get the status of each of the students hospitalized for life-threatening injuries. They did tell me that the driver is 17 years old, and while he was taken into custody for DUI, they say charges are still pending as this investigation continues. And I was also able to confirm that 5 of the teenagers involved are students at Marshall High School, which isn't too far from this location. Now, the scene here has cleared for many hours now, and it's getting a little bit darker, but you can still see some of the marks on that tree where that SUV went off the road, hit this tree right before it crashed into a neighbor's front yard just across the street. The homeowner of that yard describing the scene to me as vicious. This was all around 5 o'clock this morning. The SUV carrying a total of 7 teenagers, including that driver. Police say speed and alcohol played a role, and we don't know how fast that SUV was going, but the impact and speed alone sent debris flying everywhere, one piece even damaging a resident's car. 5 of the passengers were ejected. Neighbors walking out of their homes after hearing the wreck to see people lying on the ground in different parts of this area. One passenger was trapped in that vehicle and had to be extricated. I am told the driver was again arrested on scene. He was the only one wearing a seatbelt. Everyone involved ranged from 14 to 17 years old.
And a young gal came by while the police were here, and she said she had seen the vehicle earlier with the kids hanging out the window. They were yelling at her as she was driving by, and so she wanted to report it to the police. Then you wonder, what are they doing out at 5 in the morning?
Now, through that principal's letter for Marshall High School, they say they're offering counselors to students who may need it. At last check, everyone involved are in critical condition still. But coming up at 6, hear from that homeowner where this vehicle landed. For the first time, we are hearing from him. He was the first person to start springing into action to help these teenagers involved. Hear from him coming up at 6. But for now, reporting live in Falls Church, Matthew Torres, WUSA 9.
Yeah, just an awful scene, and we are thinking of those teenagers tonight. We'll see you back here at 6. Thank you, Matthew.